welcome. It's happening. The first episode of Highway Studios Live from the Drive. This is incredibly exciting. This experience creating this platform has been absolutely crazy and really fulfilling already. So thank you so much to everyone who has participated so far in any way, spreading the word, whatever. And to you who is listening right now, thank you so much. For those who aren't familiar, which is probably a lot of you because this is the first episode, this is a platform where I bring on bands, artists, songwriters to perform live session videos and have a brief interview conversation. I want to amplify the voices of these talented musicians in Nashville and elsewhere to give them video content for free in hopes to make something fun for their fans as well as find new ones. There's a whole intro episode about it somewhere, wherever you're watching or listening. So if you want to learn more, please check that out. And if you're interested in participating, go to highwaystudioslLC.com/LFTD. All right, enough of all that. Let's dive right in today on the inaugural episode. I was absolutely thrilled to have Miss Baylee Lindsey and her band come in and perform. When I first put out feelers for who would want to come on and track, Baylee was one of the first people to reach out, so I am forever grateful for her. Her band kicked ass too, all right? They came in and performed One Vice for Another, Dive Bar Beauty Queen, and a Mac Davis cover, Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me. We had a great conversation about what it means to be a woman in country music, so please stick around for all that, and without further ado, let's get into it. Here is Baylee Lindsey.
I woke up at 1 p.m. and the house is a goddamn mess again. Oh well, wasn't gonna clean it anyhow. So I washed down the amphetamines with a 3-day serving of caffeine and nothing else. At least I quit smoking. And if I'm gonna sleep tonight, I'll have to chase the sun with the bottom of a bottle. Money is tight, but the booze comes free when you work in the bar till 3 at $2.13 an hour. Morning comes, ain't got nothing to show, so I pack 2 bowls to go. One to eat and one to recover. I'm trading one vice for another. Friday night and I'm out again with the same old dude that I've been seeing for like a month, and I don't even like him, but I'll keep him around till he figures it out. Then I'll go hunting for my next victim just to keep me distracted. Spending time with them is better than spending time with me. Money is tight, but the booze comes free when you work in the bar till 3 at $2.13 an hour. Morning comes, ain't got nothing to show, so I pack 2 bowls to go. One to eat and one to recover. I'm trading one vice for another, just trying to stay afloat. The only way I know, trading the highs for the lows. So on and on the roller coaster goes. Money is tight, but the booze comes free when you work in the bar till 3 at $2.13 an hour. Morning comes, ain't got nothing to show, so I pack 2 bowls to go. One to eat and one to recover. Trading one vice for another. No, trading one vice for another. I'm trading one vice for another.
All right, we're here with Baylee Lindsey.
Hi.
Thanks
hello.
for coming on and playing.
Of course.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
I love that you are using a classic country, rock country sound in your songs, while today's industry has fully embraced the modern pop country
Yeah.
thing. What is it about the classic country sound that is important for you to incorporate in your music?
I think for me, it's what I grew up on. Coming from Texas, it's like all my family listened to. My mom would pedal me around to all the little like honky tonks around in any like 50-mile radius of our house. A big one that I played in a few times when I was like, I think 8 to 12. There's this place called Johnny High's Country Music Review. And if anyone knows anything about Leanne Rimes, that's where she was discovered. So I sort of grew up in that like honky tonk, grand old Opry style performance and sound. And it was interesting because when I came to Nashville, I sort of had abandoned my country roots a little bit because it was not cool at the time. And I came to Belmont, I'd tell people that I like country music, and I sort of alienated myself in a weird way. I said, no, it's okay. I sing R&B. I'm an R&B artist, actually. I do R&B. So that sort of got me a little bit, I wouldn't say further, but it helped me fit in, I think, a little bit more in the Belmont crowd at the time. And then when I graduated and I was like, I guess I'll start writing songs. For the longest time, I was like, I'm a singer. I don't write songs. I'm not a songwriter. That's not me. I just like to get on a stage and sing and perform. And when I started writing, the only thing that came out of me was that like classic sound.
The Texas roots came back.
And no matter how much I would try to escape it a little bit, I just couldn't. It was like you can take the girl out of Texas, but you can't take the Texas out of the girl. And that's just very much what happened for me. And then I just kind of embraced it from there and realized that, I do this for me. If I'm going to be happy with what I'm doing, then I'm going to write and sing what I like to sing. So
nice. And what was that? What pushed you to start writing again?
So it was interesting. I came to Nashville, went to Belmont as a music business major, very quickly realized how little singing I was actually going to be doing. And it was weird because I grew up doing like classical vocals. I went to a fine art school in high school, sang my whole life, and I wanted to do voice for college. And my dad was like, no, that's not going to happen. So Belmont was kind of a saving grace where I was able to find like a compromise with him. I was like, well, I'll go to Nashville and I'll be in Music City, but I'm still getting a business degree, Dad. Don't worry. This is going to be practical. So we did that. Then I came to Nashville and very quickly my ego got shot. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do the business thing. So I'd sort of really given up on being an artist, and I knew I was going to sing somehow just because I can't help but to do that. But I graduated in 2020. So my last semester of college was in COVID and was doing school online. The internship that I had set up for after I graduated, that company got dissolved completely because of COVID.
Oh, no.
So I was just like, well, now what the hell do I do? So COVID mostly just forced me into it. I mean, I had nothing else to do but to sit around, and I said, I'll give it a shot. And I started writing, and I said, wait, maybe I can do this. Maybe it is something that, I can really start to pursue. My family probably doesn't love that as much because from there on out, I've been a bartender and just, slinging drinks to make music for my money or make money for my music. But yeah, I kind of was just forced into it. It wasn't really something I decided to do. It just sort of happened.
Yeah, I think for me too, COVID and extra time and boredom breeded some creativity and pushed a lot of people to start writing, pursuing their creative endeavors.
100%.
Yeah, so you mentioned bartending, and One Vice for Another is about trying to be a musician while getting by through bartending. How do you use that experience to influence your creative process?
At this point, I've been working in the service industry for over 10 years. From observing what that lifestyle looks like, I think it's a little bit misunderstood in a lot of ways, but also, I mean, it's a lifestyle that it's hard to get out of it. But when you're such a creative, and just in general, like, I think creatives have, it's easier for us to get stuck in maybe unhealthy habits because we're usually pretty neurodivergent and passionate, and
It's all about love and fun and music. I mean, it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's really what it is, you know? The line that inspired this song is I think literally one day I was like talking to somebody and I said, you know, the booze really comes free, or it really comes easy when you're working the bar till 3. At $2.13 an hour, I'm at least going to drink their booze. You know, you're not even paying me to be here. So whatever. And that's sort of where that came from. And it's interesting because this song, mostly I find that others who work in the industry with me really relate to it. Because you feel like, you know, I don't want to get stuck in this cycle of what a lot of people can say is addiction or just going too hard too fast. And a lot of people get burnt out. Everyone thinks that they're better than the other when they're bartending or in the industry. You know, it's like, well, it got to that guy, but it's not going to get to me. And it's just like, it's something I was embarrassed about for a long time. And I think I took that and channeled it. I was like, well, I know I'm not the only one dealing with this. So I wrote about it and, you know, I tried to make fun of it a little bit too, because I think it doesn't have to be that heavy. I mean, I, especially coming out of COVID and starting to write again and all this stuff, there was just a period where I was drunk a lot. And I had to sit with myself and say, do I have a problem? And I was like, I don't think I have a problem. I think like everybody else, we're all working too many hours and trying to really make something happen out of nothing. So you use things to make it easier. And it's also really hard to be the only sober person at a party when you're responsible for entertaining them. I don't know. And I think it relates to musicians who even don't work in the service industry. It's just, you know, when you have to be on all the time, you can really get stuck in a cycle. And that's sort of where that came from.
I think for a lot of writers, myself included, thinking about if it's something you're embarrassed about or a problem you might have, facing that and then writing about it can be even therapeutic.
Yeah, 100%.
And just getting it out, creating something through it. Yeah, so you chose Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me as the cover. Why did you choose that, and how'd you go about changing it to be from the perspective of a woman?
Yeah, I stumbled upon that song randomly probably like 5 years ago, and it's been one of my favorite songs ever since then. And it's just very 70s and ridiculous. And if you see like the Mac Davis like cover art and all this stuff, it's just I just loved how ridiculous it was in the first place when it comes to, you know, that guitar riff and the way that little like drum thing that's clearly they've got 2 drums in the session for that room, but it had just such character to it that I really like stuck with it and I brought it. And I think the thing that most provoked me to cover it was in the second verse where he goes, you're a hot-blooded woman, child. And which, first of all, in general is a crazy line. Yeah. But I then thought to myself, it's like, because the way he's saying is, you're a hot-blooded woman, child. Like he's calling her a child. And from my mind, I wanted to take that and be like, you're a hot-blooded man child. That, I think, really like put a fire under my ass to be like, I'm going to take this. And it's just so fun to call an audience of men child. So that really, I just was like, I have to say that on a stage, on a microphone somewhere.
Embracing the empowerment.
Exactly. Also, it's just fun to play. The band loves it. I love it. It allows us to really jam, and you don't hear a lot of, you know, those big 70s hits within like Nashville, Broadway. A lot of people stick to the more like 60s stuff, like early 60s, and then you get down into the 90s. Like country, you miss that like 70s to 80s country that has a lot of fun. I mean, the 80s and the 70s in general were just crazy when it comes to music, and it's honestly just fun. I play it because it's a whole lot of fun, and there's no one that has ever played it with me or anyone that's ever heard it that doesn't have a great time while we're singing it.
It is. That's a fun tune. I remember when we played it. Yeah, that was one of my favorite covers that we did.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that 70s sound.
Getting that look in your eyes, and it's starting to worry me. I ain't ready for no family ties. Nobody's gonna hurry me. Just keep it friendly, boy, 'cause I don't wanna leave. hot-blooded man-child, and it's warm where you're touching me. But I can tell by your trembling smile, you're seeing way too much in me. Boy, don't let your life get tangled up with mine, 'cause I'll just leave you. I can't take no clinging vine. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. 'Cause I'll just use you and I'll set you free. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. One more time. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. 'Cause I'll just use you and I'll set you free. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me.
This episode of Live from the Drive is brought to you by Cookies by Carson. If you're craving cookies that are ridiculously delicious, stunningly gorgeous, and fully customizable, look no further than Cookies by Carson. Handcrafted right here in Nashville, Tennessee, and shipped nationwide, these cookies aren't just treats, they're works of art. Whether it's for weddings, birthdays, corporate events, or just because you deserve a sweet moment, Cookies by Carson has you covered. Trust me, I take my cookies very seriously, and Carson absolutely nails it every time. In fact, she's earned the trust of huge brands like Skims and Buffalo Wild Wings, and miraculously, her amazing cookies can be in your pantry too. Oh, and if you have dietary preferences, don't worry. Gluten-free and vegan options are available, along with other delicious goodies like dog treats, cupcakes, and more. So next time you're planning an event or just treating yourself, make it unforgettable with the most beautiful and mouth-watering custom cookies you've ever seen. Head to cookiesbycarson.com to shop now. That's cookiesbykarsen.com. And while you're at it, send me some, okay? They're delicious. Back to the show. All right. I'm going to ask everyone who comes on here to name an album you've either had on repeat recently or has given you inspiration recently. For me, I'll just as an example, I've been bad at listening to music lately.
Yeah.
It's been only live jam band stuff, except I cannot stop listening to McCoy Tyner's Inception. I think it's his first record. There's just something about the bouncy melodies on top of the dense chords in each tune that I try to take and use as inspiration for my own stuff.
Absolutely.
But I just cannot stop listening to it.
I'm the same way, where I'm very bad at listening to music. Because I very much, especially, trying to build my sound and our sets and all this stuff, I get very much stuck back in my past of I'm listening to the same things over and over again. Patsy Cline, Mac Davis, like all that stuff. It just rotates in my mind. I will say I have a big guilty pleasure for pop music. I mean, I went through my Chapel phase like most girls. I mean, I think it's cool to see we're getting pop stars back again. And we lost that for a while, I think. And so I've just been really celebrating them. The Chapel Roan album has been a big one for me. Obviously, Sabrina Carpenter just dropped her album, so I can't stop listening to it. Yeah,
both of those cannot get out of my head either.
No.
I don't even go out of my way to listen to them, but those melodies are just stuck in there.
Yeah, obviously she had the two singles, Espresso and Please, and they were great. And then that whole album came out, and I could hear the point of view that she had in writing it. And I mean, going back to the way that I've been trying to write my songs is having this more honest perspective as a woman in your music. Like, she doesn't hold anything back. In fact, sometimes I go back and I listen and I'm like, she really just said that. Some of the things I wouldn't have balls to say in writing, It's, I think, easier in pop music, but especially as a woman in country, you know how many times I've been told, are you sure you want to say that? Country radio is not going to want to play it if you say that. I talk about Adderall and I say curse words and all these sorts of things. And that one has been a big one for me, just purely trying to resonate with her her attitude in writing and just being like, this is, this is how I feel. This is what I would say. And she dumbs it down a little way, but in the best way possible. Like, she doesn't try to get too metaphorical with it. She just straight up is like,
Yeah, she makes it work.
and so that's been a big one. I also am really into Megan Maroney right now too.
Is that the Am I Okay record?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I okay? Yeah.
I'm not like a big Megan
Yeah.
Maroney fan, but that record is fantastic.
Yeah, because I've been jaded a little bit with the big loud crowd in Nashville for a while, and I think what she's doing is cool. Her writing is great. Just with like Lainey coming out too, I'm just really loving this like resurgence. I think as much as we love our bros in bro country, the women are starting to come back a little bit, and it's nice to see.
And I like on that record too how it's very natural sounding, like a lot of the vocal fry that she keeps in there, and just the instrumentation, the arrangements they're not pop country.
It's very, I think, toned down too. It's not overproduced. I mean, for her, it's really about her songs and about her writing.
Yep.
So she doesn't really put frill or tricks that she needs to get her point across, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. So Dive Bar Beauty Queen is a new tune.
Yeah.
Tell me about your writing process for that song.
So it's interesting. I was inspired to write this song by Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me, that Mac Davis song. And I love performing that song because I think from his perspective, it's really terrible to listen to as a woman. And this was the 70s, so it was like people didn't see it that way. But nowadays you listen to that and you're like, and so I thought in my head, how can I, and I like to do this in a lot of my writing. I have a very hard time writing love songs for whatever reason, but I also hate like giving men that credit to write them a song. So Dive Bar was really my way to sort of take on that role of what you see a lot, especially now in the pop country Broadway scene. A lot of these dudes like Morgan Wallen, leave that Broadway girl alone. It's like all this stuff. And it's like, you know what? Leave that Broadway dude alone. Or like, I can.
They're far worse.
Yeah. Like, as a woman, I wanted to flip that on its head and say, you know what? Like, I'm the one in control here. We can go out and we can have fun, but don't get hooked on me because it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
So that was what inspired Dive Bar. And I wrote it. It had a bunch of different lives, actually. I wrote it with one of my buddies, and it wasn't quite necessarily that way yet. I like to have as many opinions in writing as possible. It's rare that I'll walk out of a co-write and that's the end of that song. Usually I'll take it to a few other people, or I'll sit on it for a while and think that maybe my point hadn't gotten all the way through. And I also originally wrote it with a dude. So I think I had to sit with it on my own for a little bit and kind of take it a little bit further, the point that I was trying to make as a woman. And that's where I've tried to push myself in finding my voice, especially in writing. And I think that's why I like so much to have like a little bit more of like a female empowerment sort of side to things, because I am the worst at letting my voice just fall under the rug, especially if there's men in the room. And so I think I get a lot of that out in my writing. That voice that I know that's in the back of my head, if I can sing it and put it on a piece of paper, then it's mine and it's out there, because I'm not going to sit and maybe advocate for myself in ways that I should. So I do it in my writing.
Nice. I like that.
Met these brown eyes over a drink in a bar stool. We got 2 shots into a game of pool. When my friends met your friends, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up with you. You thought it was love at first sight. It was just loving for the night. Now I'm leaving instead of feeling. 'Cause I'm not the girl you take home to mama, but I'll be a dive bar beauty queen. I'm not your sundress Sunday morning. I'll be a Friday faded jean. If you buzzed on butterflies instead of Bud Lights, you're saying way too much of me. You can always call me for a good time. Just don't call me baby. Ain't gonna be your baby. I don't wanna deny the company, 'cause it feels so good when you're touching me. But that look in your eyes screams family ties, and that's a little too much for me. Yeah, you can hold me queen. I'm not your sundress Sunday morning. I'll be a Friday faded jeans. If you're buzzed on butterflies instead of Bud Lights, you're saying way too much of me. You can always call me for a good time. Yeah, you can always call me for a good time. Just don't call me baby. Ain't gonna be your baby.
And in the studio, what did you have like a specific goal in terms of producing One Vice? And will you have a similar goal for Dive Bar?
Yeah, so One Vice for sure. When it comes out, you'll hear in the recording there's a cowbell that I fought with when it came to producing it because it's a little ridiculous, but I almost love how ridiculous it is. With One Vice specifically, I was very much inspired by 90s Shania, just that sort of sound, because even though I think the topic is a little heavy, I wanted it to just really be fun. So that was a huge...
That comes through in the live performance. I can hear the
Yeah.
fun Shania.
We like to, be a little bit more authentic to those sounds. I think it's interesting for me because I'll listen back to, especially now that this one is like done and mastered and all that stuff. And I'm like, wow. Sometimes it's like, I'll pat myself on the back, and then other times I'll go, oh, but does anyone want this? Because it's just very much not what anyone is hearing right now. And it scares me a little bit because I'm like, it's going to pass right through them. You know what I mean? Like, but also I hope that it stops them in their tracks in a way where it's so, it's just different. I haven't heard this before. I haven't heard this in a long time. But that was my biggest goal with that one is I really wanted to transport everyone back to when Shania was wearing that leopard outfit and she was in her prime and that sort of sound. So that was a big one for that one. I think with Dive Bar, it's interesting because this song is all over the place, I think, in a lot of ways, from writing to, arrangement and all these things. It's got like jazzy moments to it, to some jammy moments, and then it's rocking out. And I think with that one, when we finally do bring it into the studio, I think I'll just let that baby grow into what it wants to be. And I sort of have in a way, because every time, obviously, like, as much as I'd love to have the same band play with me all the time, it's not like that. And everyone always brings something new to it that I'll love. And so I like put those puzzle pieces together and then eventually it'll come into something that, is meant to be. And I think that's why I like playing songs for a while live before I ever go to cut them, because it helps me get to know what that song wants to be, because I can hear it one way in my head, but the more you play it, sometimes it's going to have a life of its own. And it's like me and the song are getting to know each other, I
love that philosophy, yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thank you, Baylee.
Thank you.
Baylee Lindsey on streaming. What's your Instagram?
It's Baylee Lindsey Official on Instagram. Baylee Lindsey on everything else. Important, my name is spelled Baylee. And yeah, Lindsey with an E, and that's me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I had so much fun.
So did I.
Mm-hmm.
One Vice for Another is out now on your local streaming platform, so please go check that out. It sounds great. Thanks so much for sticking around and listening. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Wow, what a fantastic episode. We enjoyed some incredible music and learned a lot about the featured artist. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, sharing, following, liking, commenting, supporting in any way possible. It truly does mean the world to me and these artists. We have more episodes on the way, so be sure to follow Live from the Drive on Instagram and TikTok for updates. If you or your band or any musician would like to be featured, please visit highwaystudiosllc.com/LFTD. Thank you, and I'll see you down the road.